A professional boxing event due to take place at Rushcliffe Leisure Centre on May the 7th has been cancelled after police received reports of a possible threat of violence.
Spectacularly, this is the news that the nation has once again been thrilled by the opportunity to participate in local elections like a heroic gladiatorial bloodbath, but with the added aroma of freshly sharpened tiny pencils. Across the country, people have been voting for their local councillors in order to decide who they want to have the privilege of closing down their libraries in 6 months' time. In Scotland, 16 and 17-year-olds have been voting for the first time. Previously, they've had to persuade an older teenager to go into the polling station and vote for them. There have been concerns that there will be a low turnout for the police and crime commissioners' elections, simply on the ground that there's been no advertising for them. Nobody knows who's standing, what they stand for, or what a police and crime commissioner actually is. I assume it's the person who sends out the bat signal. So this is the news that the new Mayor of London is Claudio Ranieri. Verbally, this is the decision of Ted Cruz and John Kasich to suspend their campaigning against Donald Trump for what they describe as the Republican presidential nomination, but to all outside observers looks more like a hotly contested race to be judged the most appalling man in the world. I know a lot of Radio 4 listeners won't have been keeping up with the American politics, so I'll just quickly bring you up to speed. We have lost the colonies. Anyway, Americans now have to choose who they'd rather have in charge, a former Secretary of State who can never seem to remember which email account she's logged into, or a man who believes everything he reads on the internet. Whatever happens, I think it's safe to say that it was a pleasure knowing you all. Let's take a moment to grab some tins and we'll reconvene in the bunker.
And then the team that wins gets a big cup. It's electrifying stuff.
I wish they actually just got a big cup, like those ones you get from Sports Direct when you order. What I love about this is, I think I like it. I mean, I love this story. And I'm not a Leicester fan at all, but their main player is this guy called Vardy, who looks like he's only ever eaten crisps.
Unrelatedly, this is the story of unfancied Leicester City shocking the world of football by winning the Premier League. Football fans the world over were delighted by the plucky underdog story of 11 millionaires fighting their way past a lot of slightly richer millionaires. Leicester players have achieved the one thing they have been striving for their entire lives, and one must assume that now, like bumblebees, they will simply die. No, it's a lovely story, and I only wish Leicester's most famous resident, Richard III, could have lived to see it. Grotesquely aged, baffled by the world around him, and sitting in an executive box screaming, "Why won't you let me die?" in Middle English. It's not just sporting achievement in Leicester, of course. The University of Leicester was instrumental in the invention of genetic fingerprinting.
A pilot caught on camera attacking a policewoman has been charged with assault and creating disturbance. The prosecution objected to the pilot's release on bail, saying he's a flight risk.
Are you a man aged over 40? Windsor Lions Club is offering free prostate cancer checks with the help of a local estate agent.
Shut your stupid funnel up!
Flippity-flap, flappity-flap. May we come in so we'll be dry?
The thing about tagging people is you can't, things a bit more loaded, aren't they? When you fled a dictatorship, officialdom, is not seen as a benign thing. So if someone says you have to wear this now, you're sort of thinking...
It's like Nazi Germany.
You're thinking it's like Nazi Germany.
I've noticed this a lot lately. People jump right to the Hitler card. Like they say, "Oh, you're playing the Hitler card, like first round." Like there's some gradations between painting a door red and saying this is like Nazi Germany.
We do have this fixation, don't we, in the UK of getting a bit all World War II about everything. If it's queuing at Wimbledon, it's like Dunkirk. Sort of waiting by the Thames for the Royal Flotilla. It's like the Blitz Spirit because it's raining.
Trying to get on a ferry, it's like Dover. People in Dover are really paranoid about the refugees in Calais. And do you know what? They want to come here. They want to come here. Oh, 6,000 of them. They want to come here. I think, no, don't flatter yourselves, Dover. They want to go through you. They want to go through you.
I mean, I think
wait a minute. So do we get an extra point for that? Do we not get an extra point for that?
Terry, that was an act of aggression.
We want to win this quiz. It's like the Battle of Stalingrad, this quiz, isn't it?
I don't think anyone has ever come on this programme and cared about the points, Terry. This is... In many ways, you represent new territory for me.
One truck at a time.
Yeah, enjoy yourselves, because now it gets tragic.
Well, I did try to register as a supporter during the Labour leadership campaign, and then I got a thing saying, I'm sorry, you do not share the aims and values of the Labour Party. And I did want to write back and say, I'm sorry, I've just been really busy. I haven't had time to invade Iraq, but I didn't... My problem may have been you're not allowed to be a member of another organisation, and I am actually a member of Riley's Snooker Club in Croydon.
But I enjoy this talk about the hard left and the soft left. I mean, I think there's room for other... I'd like there to be more types of left, I think, than the soft left, the sort of cushioned left, or the absorbent left, or the aloe vera-infused left. What other lefts are there? Do write in. Tellingly, Home Secretary Theresa May has commissioned a report to find out if schools, charities and the civil service may be infiltrated by Islamists and other extremists, although it's possible that to the Conservatives the definition of other extremists is anyone who works in the public sector. The review will engage charities and businesses to help them identify entryist behaviour by means of a multiple-choice test. Are you an extremist? Yes or no? Or why do you want to work here? A, because I want to destroy British society, or B, because I'm passionate about IT consultancy. There are worries that the review will lead to McCarthyism, which I believe is the practice of behaving exactly like the journalist and former Beirut hostage John McCarthy. It basically means going around rooting out extremists in the public sector while occasionally making light-hearted Radio 4 travel documentaries. The review also states that broadcasters will not be allowed to give extremists a platform to preach harmful... Oh, God.
What you should do is, when the audience aren't here, just say all the words that there are in the language into the tape machine. And they can just edit you together.
I'd be worried if I did that, they'd then randomise them and it would make me sound like I was talking shit. Rather than the very carefully nuanced screen I'm attempting. The review also states that broadcasters will not be allowed to give extremists a platform to preach harmful messages and falsehoods without critical challenge. In other words, you can put Rod Liddle on Question Time, but then Dimbleby has to mutter the words irredeemable.
Safety warning. Opening this box will result in death by electrocution and a £50 fine. As a resident of Falmouth, I feel that dogs should be kept off beaches at all times, and owners should be responsible for them. Dog poo is very dangerous, and so if owners want to take their dogs out, they should poo in their gardens first.
Enough! Goodbye.
No!